Hello, Bisons, and welcome to Bisora. Today, it is Wednesday, January 8th. We are currently inside of the London initial balance that literally just started just 2 minutes ago. It is currently 2:02 a.m. in the morning, and we are here. We're just gonna start at the top of our watch list like we always do, and we're gonna cycle through and see what opportunities are present for us on today's day in the market. And I remember looking at this one yesterday, and it was not formed properly. There was no pendulum to choose our pivot point, and if we look at this one, we can see that we currently have that formed. We have our pendulum here, and we already have our pivot. Now take a look at this, you guys. I want to zoom in here to show you, point something out to you guys really quickly. Remember in the introduction video, I remember telling you guys that sometimes what you will see is when the market closes right here, if we want the point number 2 to be broken on the pendulum, right? That is how we get our pivot point. However, if you notice, this candle is closing just above the high, and there is a slight gap between the open of this candle right here and the close right here. What is the close on this candle? The close is 1.48792. Look on the top left corner of your screen. You will see the OHLC, open, high, low, and close. That is going to be giving you your values for your candle. Each time you hover over a new candle, your OHLC values will change. We have our close at 1.48792, you guys, and there is a slight gap, a little bit of a gap, nothing major, but it is there. As you can see, the open is at 1.48792, you guys, so there is a slight gap. However, it is still not, it did not gap below the low on this candle right here, because the low is 1.48786, you guys. So it is still opening just so slightly above the high, above the low, sorry, on this pendulum point. So we will still be able to use this one, and we can use it as a standalone. It's not that it doesn't have that much volume by itself, but this is on a higher time frame, you guys, so it is going to be okay. I'm gonna go ahead and select that one for my pivot, and I remove the pendulum, you guys. I hope you guys can see how we derived this pivot point right here. However, I'm going to actually go ahead and undo all the way. I'm gonna leave it on there for you guys to see. You guys want to annotate on your charts, and it is not obstructive, you guys. I can still see the candles very clearly, so I'm gonna leave it on there for you guys to see, and I don't need this on our lower time frame, so I'm gonna go ahead and make that invisible on the minute chart like so, and we're gonna drop down to our lower time frame here. We've already had the Asian initial balance elapse, and we already have that broken here. So we can go ahead and select our pivot point from that too, and that will be this candle right here, and we're gonna stop it dead smack at the initial balance for the London session. We can label that as our Asian break, you guys. Now, take a look at this, you guys. Because we already have the market moving away here from our initial balance, if you pay attention, you guys, once this pivot was formed, once it closed right here, the market did start to trade away from it right here, but there has been no return, not as of yet. So we will be waiting for some form of a retracement back to this level. Might not come all the way back up there. It might trade above these highs, take some liquidity right here, and then it can continue to go lower, you guys, and that will be something that we look out for. So we're gonna go ahead and just place an alert right here so that we can be notified if the market does retrace to any of these levels up here, you guys, and we're just gonna continue right along. There's no need to spend too much time looking at these. If it is not interesting to us, then there is no point for us trying to make up trades in our minds, you guys. And this is going to be case in point. We see that we have our pivot here. This was from yesterday. This was from Monday, actually, you guys. So we want to update this level, so I'm gonna delete this one. I'm gonna see if we have a updated level for a pendulum, and there's nothing interesting in here. You can see this is just flat out consolidation right here. We're gonna wait for a breakout of this level. We don't know if it's gonna break out to the upside or the downside. It's trading to the lower end of the range right now, you guys, but that in and of itself does not necessarily mean anything. This one is not that interesting, so we're just gonna continue cycling through our watch list here. And as you can see, you guys, this one is a little bit more interesting because we already have our pivot right here. Even though it failed as a one touch level to the upside, it did not maintain price above. Now we're going to give it the opportunity to see if it is a one touch level to the downside right here. And what that means is we can just draw this out a little bit more into the future. If we get a retracement to this level, we will be placing some confidence in here to say it can maintain price, it can hold price lower, and we can look for opportunities to go short. However, we do not have the price at those levels right now. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to add an alert to see if the market wants to come back up to this level. We can use this level actually to go short because we will be forming intermediate term high on that level, you guys. We already have the market trading up, taking liquidity above this high. We have a short-term swing high right here. We have a swing high right here. So if we get another short-term swing high on the other side of this one, this becomes an intermediate term swing point, you guys, and then that is even more confirmation that the market might leave this high and come attack these lows for liquidity. It did go straight up, so that is an sometimes that is an indication that the market wants to come back to these levels, because there has been absolutely no form of a retest on any of these levels, and it is just crazy liquidity building up, internal range liquidity below all of these lows right here, you guys. And then there's going to be liquidity resting below this low too, so we want to see if the market tries to reach for those levels. Now, on the USDJPY, we still have our trade open from yesterday, you guys. It is just stuck in the same range, so the same analysis applies. We are waiting to see if it makes it up to this level or if it comes down and stop us out our trade at break even. We did modify our trade to go to a break even point just because we've had this open long enough so we can remove the risk, and we just have a risk-free trade open on this one right now. And yeah, we don't have to do too much on this. We just have to wait and see. So we're just gonna continue right along, you guys. Now on this one, we were also waiting to see if like a pendulum forms somewhere in here so that we can select a pivot point. And as you guys can clearly see, nothing happened. Well, candles were painted, but we do not yet have a pendulum. It is just flat out going sideways, just up and down, stuck in this little range right here, and nothing interesting still on this one. So we can just continue right along. And that is going to be our watch list, you guys. We have made it back to the top already. So far, nothing interesting, you guys. And we're just going to leave it at that for right now. If there is nothing interesting to see, then we do not want to make up trades in our minds, you guys. Okay, we do not want to spend too much time looking at the chart because, you know, these are they're very malleable, you guys. Then the market is very subjective. If you stare at these charts long enough, I promise you, you will make up a trade in your mind. You will be forced to make some form of a decision. So with your experience, you guys, at first glance, you will be able to find what you're looking for. You want to spend a little bit more time sometimes looking at it and examining what you're actually seeing, but you will be able to tell pretty quickly if there is a setup for you, if there is one forming that you should be waiting for or not. In this instance, we cycled through our watch list and we realized there was nothing interesting to see, so we're just gonna leave it at that for right now, and we will check back on it a few moments from now, you guys. So we did allow for some time to go by. You guys remember we did not have any clear opportunities so far. We have been checking, and we're just gonna go ahead and cycle through our list again, and we know what's at the top is the EURCAD. This is the watch list, you guys. I have it arranged in alphabetical order. It's just 5 items that are on the watch list right now that we're looking at. So we're gonna start at the top with the Euro Canadian dollar, and we're just gonna look to see what we have here. Okay, wow, amazing. So as we can see, you guys, the market is oscillating between these two levels. I don't know if you guys remember, if you look at the previous video, we had a level up here before the market even went up to it. If you guys look at the previous videos, we were saying that is likely to have happened when this pivot was formed. The market moved away. We were like, okay, the market is likely to draw up to this level, and I can see it right here, the pivot point that we had selected. And I'm just gonna go ahead and select it again so that you guys can see what we're talking about. We had this pivot point and we were saying the market would likely to go up to this level, and we don't know what would happen after that. However, after that played out, the market clearly came down, and we have our first touch on this level, you guys. So what does that mean? Let's look at a higher time frame and just see what information that we can get from this market, from what is actually present to us on the chart in the current moment. Now we can see that we have these lows right here, you guys, and there is a break below the low right here. So there is a break in market structure right here happening at this point, but that is going to be happening between our pivot points, you guys. So as we don't even want to use this level, because then we end up selecting too many levels, you guys, and then we don't know which one to trade from, because the market is going to be reacting at all of these levels. So we want to stick with the system. We want to make a note that yes, this is a break in market structure. Yes, the market is closing below all of these lows. This is the intermediate term swing point, and the market is shifting right here. So what we can do actually is, let's just get a trend line, and do we do it at the open or the close? We're gonna highlight the open on this one, you guys, and we're just gonna see how sensitive this level is. We don't have to do anything else, anything much here. Actually, you guys, this should not be on our lower time frame. So we're just gonna make that invisible like so. And the only way that we use these levels from this side of the chart, if you guys notice, the market has not been here for a very long time. But if you notice and if you pay attention, all our levels were already used. We have this level already touched one time, already a one touch, already a one touch. All our levels were one touch levels going up, you guys. So we don't want to draw them out all the way into the future over here. There is no need for us to do that. I'm going to show you guys what to do whenever you are selecting your levels. I mean, you guys should already know that we are looking for the pendulum. Okay, that is all that we're doing, you guys. We're looking for a pendulum so that we can find a pivot. That is it, you guys. We have one, well, it's not formed yet, so we can't say we have one forming right here, because we have 3 points of the pendulum so far. However, the pendulum is not made up of 3 points, you guys, so we can't say we have a pendulum. Okay, so we literally just have to wait again and see what happens. However, the market is at our level on a higher time frame, and it is currently trading there. So this is interesting. We can just have this one in mind, that this one, there might be an opportunity present to us. Yeah, so we will be monitoring this one a little bit more closely. Let's go ahead and look at our economic calendar and see what we have. And we're just gonna refresh. We have it pulled up for the week, but we can still refresh it, you guys. And we're gonna cycle to today's day, which is Wednesday, January 8th. And we can see, oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense, you guys. Now we have high impact news driver coming in at 2. We're gonna have the FOMC minutes. Everything else is just going to be medium impact, but I expect these drivers to just build up suspense in the market until 2 o'clock today. We might not have anything bizarre happening until then, you guys. So with that in mind, I mean, that does make a lot of sense why the market has been behaving this way, beginning from the Asian session. Even though we do have some movement, you guys, we can't say we don't have any movement. This was a wonderful opportunity to get in the market using just our lower time frames. However, we're not looking at this as an opportunity at the time, you guys, because we were waiting for something to line up with the higher time frames. That is completely fine, you guys. We do not feel no type of way about, I don't even want to say missing this move, bro, because that is not the way to think about it, you know. So we're just gonna keep on going. We're just gonna cycle through and see what we have here. What happened here, you guys? Okay, let us see. All right, this one is the one that was also moving very sideways, you guys. I remember saying that this one would have been the pivot, but it did not close above the high right here, which would have been point number 2. The market heard me apparently, because now it is showing me, okay, how about now? Did I close above it now? And wow, you closed too far above my level, my guy. Now I cannot even use this level as a pendulum. I mean, as a pivot, even though that is what it is. This is the pendulum forming right here, you guys. But I am just going to flat out disregard this, because this is just going to be way too risky for me. We would have to use like a very small lot size. It doesn't matter how big the risk is, but because we just adjust our position size to match up with the amount of capital that we are willing to risk per trade, it's gonna be the same, you guys. But yeah, I would just disregard this one and just wait for a different level, you guys. There is still a lot of liquidity built up below here, and we are having a liquidity run above these highs. Let me go up to a daily chart and see what we have. Yeah, you guys, I mean, it is clearly bearish on this market. So any impulse move to the upside, well, if it closes, if this volume maintains and closes above this level right here, then we can say maybe, because this will be the pendulum. So this candle right here will be forming the pivot. If you guys look, this is a pendulum right here, and whatever level, see, this one is forming the catapult, pullback, liquidity taken, and there is a, well, if this candle closes above, then there will be the pivot point formed right here on our pendulum. Until then, you guys, it is all just hanging in the balance, because this can also retrace and come all the way down here to take this liquidity, you guys. Ain't no telling what can happen, so we don't even try to guess. We don't even try to pretend like we know what is going to happen. We just move on. Once we see it unclear, we just leave it alone, you guys. We don't force the market to take our money, okay? The market is already going to do that on its own. We don't look for more opportunities to give our capital away to the market. And as you guys can clearly see, we already looked at this one, but wow, this market also fell quite dramatically since we last looked at it, you guys. There were no opportunities for us when we were looking at it. Even in here, you guys, we can look at a lower time frame chart, and there is nothing clear indicating to us like, okay, we should be going short. There's nothing in here indicating that to us. There is nothing in here indicating that to us either, and that is completely fine. Whenever we see this happen, do not get no bit of FOMO. Do not feel like, oh, I missed it and the system doesn't work or whatever. Guys, come on. I'm gonna show you guys what I mean. If you guys are to just follow through to the last chart, and wow, look at this, you guys. We had our take profit being hit on this market right here. We did say the market is a little bit lethargic going to our level, so we did not want to add anything to the position, assume any more risk on this particular trade. However, we did modify to put our target above, right at this high right here, and the market is literally trading at our level right now, you guys. So we did hit target. We did have our take profit hit on this market right here. If you guys watched the previous video, then you know what I'm talking about. It was on yesterday's edition of Day to Day, Tuesday, January 7. So on today's episode, we do not have a clear opportunity on this market, at least not of which I am seeing right now, you guys. And we can wait. Actually, we can wait and see what happens, you guys, if we get another opportunity. Like I said, today it is likely to be we do have a pendulum forming right here, you guys. Finally, this market is giving us something to work with. Also, we have been very patient waiting for this one, and as you guys can see, whenever we exercise this patience, you guys, this patience, it does pay off for us, because number one, we keep our cool. That's the first thing. And number two, we also keep our capital. So we keep the two C's, you guys. We keep our cool and we keep our capital by exercising patience. And it's the same system. We don't want it on the lower time frame. If we put it on a higher time frame, if we put it on a lower time frame, we don't want it on a higher time frame. We want to keep those things very separate, so that we can know what it is that we are looking at, you guys, and have it. I'm gonna highlight the pendulum so that you guys can see. I know that a lot of you guys are still relatively new and using this system. I know that this is still in my opinion, a very, very simple way of looking at the market, you guys. I am unfamiliar with a simpler strategy. If you guys are aware of one, let me know in the comments, you guys. And if this is still not clear to you guys, then please also let me know in the comments. Let me know on Discord. Let me know at Telegram. You guys email at me, and I will try my best to make it even more simple for you guys, even more clear than it already is. So we waited, and rightly so. Actually, guys, it's the same level, but we have two pendulums forming, but we're going to ultimately get the same level for the pivot. We start with the catapult right here. This is going to be our catapult level. We have the pullback, and we return. We did not take liquidity below the catapult level, and that in and of itself is an indication of strength. The market was not it did not want to come down here. The algorithm did not want to send market down here. It wanted to leave this liquidity for a later date. So we do not try to if we have the market structure shifting and breaking. Actually, we have market structure shift happening right here above this high, and we actually have, it would be this candle that is causing the market structure shift, and then we have the market structure being broken to the upside right here. And let us actually see what this is looking like on a wider scope. And clearly, you guys, this is a bullish market. We do have the liquidity being taken, all the imbalances being filled to the downside right here. If you guys look at this, we do have this slight imbalance right here, and that could be a magnet for price. Small as it is, you guys, do not consider it to be negligible. And we do have our level right here. However, all signs reporting that this could quite possibly be a bullish move, except for the fact that, well, I shouldn't say except for the fact that, because this does not negate it being a bearish move. This is going to be our pivot point, you guys. We have our pendulum form on a daily chart. We can use this low. We're going to go to this high, and this will be our point number 4. If this is our point number 2, this is the lowest point in this series, and that is why I chose to use that one, because I wanted to make it very clear and obvious to you guys that this is closing below all of these lows in this level right here. Okay, so it is closing. There is a little bit of an imbalance in here between this wick and this wick right here. However, the market is already trading above that imbalance. We are at this candle's open right now, and we can see if this level will want to hold price below. However, as we can see, I mean, the market is clearly in an upswing right now. So any trade that we take, we will place more of our trust in our long positions right now, as opposed to our short positions. And that is, like I said, you guys, solely based on the fact that on a higher time frame, it is in a upswing right now. Okay, so we can drop down back to our lower time frame chart actually and see that level. Let's look at it like this, you guys. Let's go our daily chart right here, and let's look at our 2-hour chart right here for our lower time frame. I'm gonna remove some of these, you guys. I'm gonna keep this one so that you guys, I want to keep the most recent ones so that you guys can see what the pendulum, I want to keep the most recent pendulum on there so that you guys can see what pivot points I'm choosing and how I am actually choosing those pivot points. And as you guys can clearly see, the pivot point on my lower time frame is inside of my pivot point on a higher time frame. So this would be a good level to be using also for my entries if the opportunity presents itself. So if we already have, we don't have a move away yet because we don't have a candle closing away from my low. So in the event that this candle closes anywhere above my higher end of my pivot point right here, any return to it, I can deem that as my first touch, and I can look for opportunities for the market to continue higher, maybe targeting these levels up here. And we can see we have some liquidity built up here on my daily chart. So in the event that we get an opportunity to go long, we can know like, okay, there's this imbalance that needs to be filled right here. There is internal range liquidity above this high. There is liquidity resting above this high, also internal range liquidity. And there is ultimately all the marbles above this high up here. So if we can make it up to here, if the opportunity is present to us, then we don't mind taking advantage of that if it becomes apparent to us, if that opportunity presents itself for us. And let's just go to a lower time frame chart here, see what we have. Let's just select our pivot points, even though the market clearly already moved away from there. And look at this, you guys, the high end of our range on the initial balance in the Asian session is not broken until 5:30 in the morning, you guys. Imagine that. And we can have that drawn out to the future. We're just gonna leave it at 8 because that is when the New York initial balance will open. We can have this as the Asian break inside of the London session, you guys. That is completely fine. As you will see, we have also this break right here. We're gonna do the same and leave it until 8, where the New York initial balance is going to be opening. And for right now, you guys, yeah, there is nothing. As you can see, we did have our move away and our one touch level happening right here at 6. This is the time that we were given the market to just paint a clearer picture for us, just to give us a better understanding of what it wants to do. And now we can say with some conviction that we believe that the market wants to go higher. We have a bullish shift in market structure, and we have a bullish break in market structure also. However, we want to see if these levels are maintained to the upside. That is the only way that we will be getting long on any of these trades, you guys. Okay, now we've made it back to the top of the list. Allow for some time to elapse, and we had some movement on this market as we had seen earlier this morning. It is sustaining these highs, closing above this one. Still, this would be the one for our pendulum, the pivot point. As of right now, you guys, this market is still uninteresting, even though we have this impulse swing right here. Doesn't really mean anything by itself. So we're just going to keep going. Also, now we do have a close below here. This is a break in market structure. We have a swing low forming here. This could potentially be forming an intermediate term low right here, you guys. But as of right now, let's see what we have on a lower time frame here. This would be our pivot. This is the pivot, you guys, because this is the first candle that closes below the low that is formed inside of the New York initial balance, you guys. Okay, this is the low on the New York initial balance. This is the first candle that closes below the low. So this is the pivot. This is the candle that we need. We highlight this one, we draw it out into the future, and we want to see if this is a one touch level. Now we have the market move away from this level right here and come back to it for our first touch. This level should sustain, and we are going to put our trust in this level that it is going to hold price to put the market higher, to send the market higher. Okay, in the event that the market trades below these levels, we are placing our stops just below these lows right here, because if we are wrong, you guys, we don't want to put complete trust in these levels. Okay, because that would be madness, you guys. Okay, so we are placing our stops below here. So I'm gonna show you guys how to do that, how we would frame this trade idea. Let me just bring up the long position. So this is how we would do it. And like I said, you guys, even though I say I'm placing it right here, I like to cover for the spread in my stop. So I like to place it just a little bit below on the, so I cover the spread, the broker doesn't cover the spread. Well, so my trade doesn't stop me out of a trade prematurely, you guys. So even looking like this, I would still I just have to hold on my shift key, and I would still go like a little more below like this, You know, you guys, I like to give my trade a little bit of room to breathe, and this could be a good trade idea, you guys. Now, the market already moved away from this level, so how do we do that? Do we say, okay, now there are many different ways how we can do that, and I'm going to show you guys all well, not all maybe, but some different ways how we can still use this information to get into the market. Okay. So one way how we can do this, let me just bring up the order, and for example, we can use a limit order, you guys. We can say still this level, we can still use this level because the market gyrates, it goes up and down, as you can see. So we can set a limit order, and let's say we take the price at, and we can even go a little higher on this one. Let's say we come below this low, because it doesn't always trade to these levels. It's not perfect, you guys, but we are precise, but we are not perfect. You know what I mean? So we come to this low and we take the low. Once we hover over it, if you look to the top left corner of your screen, you see your OHLC. That is your open, high, low, and close. That is the anatomy of the candlestick, you guys. If you do not understand these concepts, then let me know. I can make some videos on those for you guys also. But that is the alphabet of trading, you guys. I am expecting you guys to understand these things, but if they were not clearly explained to you guys, then let me know and I can make some videos on these guys for you also. I am on Discord, you guys. I am on Telegram also. You guys can reach out to me via email. All the information you need is on the channel. Okay, now if we look at the low on this candle, we will see we have 1.23380. Now if we put our price to match that, we have 1.23380 for our price for our limit order to get filled. And all that means, you guys, is that let's put our stop loss first. I'm gonna show you guys what that means. I don't want to click on here because this is gonna close this, and let's just place this order first. I'm going to explain what it all means to you guys in just a second. Okay, so we placed our limit order at the price on this candle's low right here, and we're going to place our stop at the right where we have placed it already right here. And look at that, you guys, it lines up at a psychological level. I did not do that on purpose, you guys, but we like to use those also. It just makes it easier when we are placing our trades, you know. So we have our stop, and we're going to place that at 1.23100. Okay, so we're gonna just adjust that also, 100. And what we're going to do, you guys, we're gonna lower this risk just a little bit because this is our first trade that we're seeing, and we're just gonna go with a 5% risk on this trade. We don't want to risk too much of our account on each trade, you guys. We don't know what we're gonna have in the market, and there are other ways also we might want to scale into the trade. We don't want to just put it all on the first entry, you know. This is the first idea that we have, and this is just a concept, you guys. Okay, so we have to be smart, we have to be strategic when we are placing our trades. Okay,